All right, my friends, welcome to episode 377 of Prof and Dev Play Games. My name is Larry, the professor. Over there is Anthony, the dev, and this podcast will be a funeral for the death of the 3DS and Wii U eShops. Because I feel like all I see on my YouTube and when I log into any like Kotaku or Polygon or whatever is just like lists of games you should get before they close down these shops.
Yeah.
So I have been doing
End of an era.
End of an era, exactly. I don't know. Wii U, I mean, maybe they're both kind of dead, but I feel like the 3DS could have stayed open longer. I feel like it was more successful than the Wii U. But
Yes, it was by a wide margin.
so, like, why not leave it open a little bit longer than the Wii U? Like, close the Wii U and then close the eShop for the 3DS.
I mean, I'll be honest, they probably are looking at just on the number of people purchasing.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Like, it's just a volume thing, and it's just like, while there's a lot of 3DSs, I bet there's not a lot of people buying anything digital anymore until now, because it's going away.
Exactly. There's a ton of people buying a ton of stuff right now, and some manufacturer publishers like Capcom, for example, is like, yes, that $40 game, here it is for $3. Like Monster Hunter Generations is like $2.99. I'm like, I might play that. I'm gonna get it for $3. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, for $3. The thing is, Generations. I have Generations. I think I have a physical Generations cart. But then whichever one it is that was on here, they made a Switch port of it. And it goes on sale on Switch every once in a while.
Is it Stories or?
No. Stories is like a very true JRPG, Monster Hunter. Is it Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate? I get them confused which order they came out.
Mm-hmm.
If Monster Hunter Generations or Monster Hunter 4. I'm looking. Ultimate is $11.99. Is this the Switch? I can't tell. Why is that's a Switch? Yeah, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is on Switch at $12 right now.
Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate.
Yep.
Okay, that's the one I bought on 3DS for $3.
Yeah. So they made a version for the Switch.
Yeah.
Version. It's the same game. Like.
Is it up-resed at all in terms of?
Yeah, it's just up-resed. Yeah. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else is the same.
Yeah.
Like.
Right.
They did it at some time whenever World was coming out, and like people were like, What about the Switch? Hey, Monster Hunters have always been on Nintendo, and they're like, here, have a up-resed, like
we'll
better frame rate version of the 3DS game.
Funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are putting out lists of things to buy and games to buy. So I've been, since the beginning of March, buying a few things here and there. I bought a bunch of Fire Emblem Fates. No. Fire Emblem Fates and Fire Emblem Awakening DLC, which back then were mainly just new maps, as opposed to, well, actually Awakening was new maps. Fates was like, there was Birthright Conquest and then
that's that third one, right?
Yeah, not Redemption, something. So I need to check to see if I own that one. And then today I bought, I was looking through some of the lists of things to buy, and I bought Crimson Shroud, which you had mentioned before. I bought Monster Hunter Generations, which we just talked about. I bought Harmonite, which was it's a Game Freak game. I bought this just purely based on price, and this being on one of the lists that I shared in our Discord. Attack of the Friday Monsters, a Tokyo Tale.
Yeah, I saw it.
Sounded interesting enough that I wanted to check it out.
I heard about it, but
I bought the Mega Man Legacy Collection because it was like $3 for the first like 6 Mega Man games. I bought Dylan's Rolling Western. I've always wanted to check that game out, but I never did. And then I bought, this one's for the Switch, I bought another Mario sale. I bought the Mario Party Superstars thing. But anyway, just trying to load up my 3DS with some games, and it's proving to be a little difficult because I bought it on the web portal while I was gone at a conference, and then I opened up my 3DS today. I'm like, okay, how do I download these things? And there's no easy way to do it. I have to like input each game and then hit download. but whatever. What about you? How are you feeling?
I mean,
about
I'm not
this
buying
quarter?
a huge amount.
Yeah.
It's funny. A lot of those lists come out, and my little soapbox in our Discord there. I'm like, I own all these games. Why is this list just full of the games I already own physically? God damn it! Show me the games.
Give me some new stuff.
Give me the stuff that is like truly going away that I'll never be able to get again.
Exactly.
Which was the reminder for Crimson Shroud to finally pick that up. Which is just. We'll get to what I've been playing. I'm playing it. Wow, was that a weird game?
Yeah.
We'll get to it. But that was the one that I'm like, I must pick this up. The one that you had mentioned there, the Tokyo Monster one, was one that I was like, oh, that's intriguing. But I was trying to look on the like Kotaku's list. They had like the Box Boy stuff. I don't care.
Those Box Boy games, I already own those games, and those games are fun.
Yeah.
But you have to like puzzle platformer,
Yeah, and that's why it just doesn't. They always looked good. I was just like, sure, just not my thing. The Rolling Western, I need to look into if I want to pick that up. Pushmo and Crashmo. Maybe?
I have those too. I've had those for a long time. Those are great too. Those are the kind of games that like there isn't a physical. Those are not coming to Switch probably.
Yeah.
Like, those are the ones that feel
these ones are
essential.
Gone. I mean, that's why I got Crimson Shroud. Like,
yeah,
it was already a weird game to begin with. So for listeners, Crimson Shroud is a game by Yasumi Matsuno, who did Final Fantasy Tactics, Vagrant Story, Final Fantasy 12, Left Square right before 12 came out. This was the first game he did post Square when he went to work at Level 5.
Mm-hmm.
And these are it's a very small game. Like the whole thing that Level 5 did, they had him, they got Grasshopper, so Goichi Suda, Suda 51, and I think they got a third person, and they all got a very small budget to make a small game. And in Japan, they released them digitally and physically. Like they made a bundle pack in Japan that collected they're called like Guild 01 was there's the guild titles as they call them. And they put out a physical release that collected them all in one cart in Japan.
That's cool.
That never came to the West.
Right.
On the West, we got these dropped onto the eShop with little to no fanfare. Like they just existed. They came out 2013, 2014, they just got kind of dropped on there. And I'd always meant to pick up Crimson Shroud just because this is a designer I really like. I like his stuff, and I don't know, whenever you play a lot of games and stuff from a lot of the same designers, you start learning like their creative voice through game design. I like his creative voice a lot. It resonates with me very well. So I'm like, I should just pick this up, and knowing that soon you can't. Like, we're talking like we're recording on the 19th, so we have 8 days.
And then it's gone forever because it's like a dice kind of tabletop game. Where you're going to talk about it later, right?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
It's
let's
it's a thing.
Okay, we'll put a pin in that then and discuss that.
It's
later.
not just him. He got a longtime artist collaborator working with him on it, who was like art director on Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions, has done like Grand Blue Fantasy recently, like really good art director, an artist for this. And then he got his friend who had worked with him forever, his composing, Hitoshi Sakamoto, who did all the music for all the tactics games that I mentioned in Final Fantasy 12 and Vagrant Story. Like, this is kind of that small team just working together again on a small game. So I'm very happy to have it. And anyone listening who is just even intrigued by any of those games, it's $8. And if you have a 3DS, you should get this just to, I don't know, see something kind of experimental in a weird way.
Right. It's worth the money to see that different type of game that you're not really going to see elsewhere from a respected designer.
So that's the one I'm like, man, I want to pick that up. And then you're talking about like games that are out physically that I don't own that are now very expensive to get physically.
Mm-hmm.
But my God, Atlas never puts anything on sale ever. So there's still $40 goddamn on through this eShop store.
Well, I was going to
for
ask
two of them. It's
Yeah,
the
sorry, go
Persona
ahead.
Q and Q2.
That's what I was going to ask you about Persona Q2 because I didn't remember that was the last game that was released for 3DS, new game physically. And then I looked at it and I was like, wait, those are the Persona 5 characters. Anthony, have you played this?
No. I'm probably gonna collapse and just get at least Q2.
Right, because those are the characters. I mean, you played. I thought you played 4 too, though, right?
I've played through 4.
Yeah.
Oh no, I played a lot of 4.
Yeah.
And then I just finished it off by watching the anime.
Nice. Perfect.
I was a little tired of there's a grind to that one. I'm like, I don't really like the dungeons pre-5 so much because they're not 5. How would you say 5? They actually like built the dungeons, hand built them.
Yeah.
Personas 3 and 4, they're procedural and they're very, very limited. Like they're not interesting. You just kind of run through fog-filled procedural corridors, doing random battles and going up floors. It's where 5, they're like, yeah, let's actually put handcraft really expansive dungeons with puzzles and the whole thing. And I like that. I'm not a huge fan of the blandness of the older ones, but
yeah. So Q2 is one that you might get.
I know I have to convince myself I want to do that because my God, why won't they just, I don't know, make it a little cheaper maybe? I would love it.
Well, it's what I just don't understand. Like some of these games, like which Capcom is doing, I guess, but like some of these games are never leaving this system. This is the last 8 days or whatever to buy them. So either their strategy is, whoever the publisher is, people want it, they'll pay full price before this thing closes, or we will put it on a steep discount and then we'll guarantee we'll get sales. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm more inclined to buy the ones that are on steep sales for sure.
Yeah.
Although I did buy Link to the Past, not Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds.
Link Between Worlds.
Again, I bought that back in 2014 or 15.
I'm like, you owned that.
I did, and then it's one of the very few games I returned to GameStop because I got almost full price for it. I was like, great, I can buy a different game, which is stupid because now I'm buying it again. But I did get $32 for it, so I guess I made $12.
There you go.
I don't know. I'm an idiot.
What weird
But I just,
stuff in physical do I have? I have a bunch of DS games as well.
Yeah, I've got my bag is in the house of I have a Ghost Trick on the DS. I have a Layton game from the DS. A couple other DS games.
But
Dark Moon. I bought Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. That's right. And then there's a bunch of 3D classics like Excite Bike, the NES game, and a couple other NES games that are made in the 3D that I might check out. I don't know if it's like the digital collector in me or whatever it is, but like I wasn't buying these games a year ago, but now I'm like, they're gonna go away. I have to get the ones that I want just in case I play it.
It's a scarcity mentality.
Yeah,
like,
basically.
Oh no. Hey, it's like what happened with SVB. There you go.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
Run. But this time, instead of run to get your money out, you're just run to spend money to get the games.
Yes, exactly. With the fucking bank, though, it's like, if y'all didn't panic, would that have collapsed?
No, it wouldn't have at all.
Right. Like, I don't know how pissed the people, I mean, obviously they had the people who own the bank are like, this is our sheet or a spreadsheet or whatever. Like, we have all these bonds that are at a low rate and the interest rates have gone up, so it's going to take us forever to recoup that money and blah, blah, blah. But they could have made it eventually.
They got scared because they went to raise more money, which, fine. But I'm also like, they successfully raised the money. Like, that wasn't an issue.
Yep.
Like, I mean, we've literally seen now that this is what a bank run looks like.
Yep.
It's like the bank probably could have survived Probably would have had a little bit of some rough times, but was still generally stable. Oh wait, you just disabled everything.
Yep.
Cool.
It's
Like,
destabilized now because of the people, not the bank. Just panic, sheer panic.
yeah. That kind of feel that way with the 3DS, and honestly, the 3DS shop. I don't hear many people caring about the Wii U shop except for like Wind Waker HD.
Well, and that comes up again and again and again. I saw someone today who was like, "This motherfucking game, which is just a beautiful game, is stuck on two low-performing consoles, the GameCube and the Wii U." I think
Correct.
because of the Wii U, there have been so many ports. There's a way, even though it was like the dual screen thing with the fucking gamepad or whatever, to port them mostly. But the 3DS is so unique, especially if you're using a 3D, that I feel there's panic's the wrong word, but like more of an urgency to get those games because really a lot of these games are not being ported anywhere. Like it's easier to port GBA games than when the Wii U had the DS games where it's like turn your fucking gamepad sideways and it splits your screen into it. Like this is not working, folks. That was a very unique console and it is what it is.
Yeah.
We've got a 3D classic Kirby Adventure, which I'm probably gonna get. That'll probably be one of the 3D ones that I get. Been having a lot of fun with Kirby lately, which is something I never thought that I would say. But
what does Nintendo Life have to say? They have a big old list. Yep, Box Boy.
Yes.
Pool Blocks.
Pool blocks?
Yeah, I don't know. Pool, Pull, blocks.
Okay. Let me look it up right
Pull
now.
blocks or Pushmo in North America.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right.
Pushmo is so good.
Crashmo is fall blocks. Stretchmo, full blocks.
Interesting.
There's also Pull Blocks World, Pushmo World, on the Wii U eShop.
Right.
Liberation Maiden.
The hell's that?
Level 5 3DS days were in hindsight. Oh, this is the other Guildo 1 game. The Crimson Shroud.
Oh.
It was called. This was the one by Suda51 Grasshopper.
What's that one called?
Liberation Maiden.
Interesting. Let me check it out.
It's part of Liberation is a short but sweet mech shooter in which you play as a schoolgirl who is elected president after her father, the former president, gets assassinated.
Oh boy.
And then, as the president is usually expected to do, she has to fight an invading force in a mech suit.
Perfect.
Okay, I should pick this one up
too. This is a $7.99 game.
Yeah.
That's a good price for a weird ass fucking game.
It is. Yep.
Suda51. Let me see here.
Yep. Harmonite.
Yeah, I got that one. That's the Game Freak game.
3D Classics Kid Icarus.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you said 3D Classics Kirby's Adventure.
And then Excite Bike, I think, is probably the other one.
They don't. It's not here yet.
Okay.
Pocket Card Jockey.
Oh hell yeah, dude! But that one is probably coming to the Switch because they shopped it around. Game Freak shopped it around.
Okay.
And the only one who wanted to buy it was, or not buy it, but put funding into it was Apple, and it's on Apple Arcade now.
Okay.
But
that
because
makes
it's
a lot of sense.
Yeah, because it's a single screen touch experience, it's probably coming to Switch.
Yeah. Yep.
So that one you can probably hold off on or play it on your phone.
My Nintendo Picross, Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess.
I have that one. That one's 1,000 fucking platinum points.
Okay.
That's the only way that you get it. So, yes.
Jeez.
Yeah. Luckily, I had a ton of platinum points that I had no idea what to do with.
Well, you found a thing to do with it.
I did.
Phoenix Wright games, Dual Destinies. I may have that game. I don't remember. I'll have to look.
There was that the collection. I don't know which games were in that collection, but I bought that collection on Switch a while ago. I don't remember.
Rusty's Real Deal Baseball.
That game is pretty cool. It has
they end their thing. It's weird.
It is very fucking weird.
God,
you're like
3DS had so many weird ass games.
Yeah, that's why it's so fun. There was a weird thing where you had to like negotiate with Rusty to get to buy things to, I forget what you're fucking doing to those things even. But if you like lowballed him, he got pissed at you, and it was very, very weird. But it is what it is.
I don't think you need. Yeah, there's 3D Classics, Excite Bike, Terry Kavanagh's game.
Oh yeah.
VV.
Is he the
Which
guy
I
that did
think is
Sorry, go ahead.
available other places too.
Oh,
so.
for sure, it is. Is he the one that did, I forget, like Getting Over with Bennett Foddy or whatever fucking game that was? Is that the same guy?
Getting Over It?
Yeah.
Let me check. When you talk about people who having like a creative voice, he totally does.
Right.
Like you're like, yeah, that's a Terry Kavanaugh game. I'm looking. No, he did not do Getting Over It.
Okay.
One of his latest games is Dicey Dungeons.
My daughter loves that game.
Okay.
Terry Kavanagh?
Yeah, Terry Kavanaugh's Dicey Dungeons.
Okay. That's the guy you're talking about with the creative voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just all his games. You're just like, yep, that's a Terry Kavanagh game.
Have you played Dicey Dungeons?
I have not.
It's like a roguelike where you have each dice has different. It's really good. It's really good. And my daughter loves it.
Okay.
I guess we haven't talked about it on the podcast because we played that probably 3 or 4 hours over the past, I don't know, 4 months. We don't play it very often, but we do play a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Weapon Shop de Omaste?
What?
What? It's another level. Oh, it's just another level 5's guild series.
Damn, they're all over the place.
So when they had supposedly, even Nintendo Life was like, hey, level 5 was like knocking it out of the park on like 3DS, just weird small games. And I've heard of this game before.
And it's $7.99.
What if an RPG was all about the person who runs the weapon shop?
It was almost like Moonlighter.
Yeah, I mean, the Moonlighter probably was built on a similar concept.
Match your customer to a weapon and forge it to the rhythm. Tap your 3DS and time with the music to balance the heat of your materials and make sure your hammer strikes true to create a weapon that really shines. Oh, okay. Again, another bonkers-ass game.
Yep. Badge Arcade, I'm not going to say everything. Yep, Crimson Shroud is on this list. Not shocking. Arrow Porter? What is that? Another level 5 game.
Jesus.
Blah, blah, etc. is the Nintendo Life. Is an airport management simulation that's mostly about baggage handling. Thrilling, right?
No, it does not sound
weird.
Right.
It's another, I wonder if it's just all during this time when they're like, hey, we just want all these creators just making small games for 3DS. 3D Streets of Rage 2, Siesta Fiesta, the Starship Damray, another level 5 thing.
Wow.
I mean, I just see level 5 guild project, and I'm like, sure, why not? Let's see what we got here. First-person survival horror set on the titular starship. Refuses to provide the player with tutorials or help in any way, making confusion and experimentation an important part of the narrative.
Perfect.
Like all guild games, it's worth owning almost purely for its novelty as a strange little piece of game dev history. Shit. 2013. They were just going insane, level 5. They're just like, here, let's make...
I remember people thinking about, like, is Nintendo going to buy them because they're doing so much stuff?
I guess not.
I guess not.
But, Nintendo Pocket Football Club?
What the hell is that?
It's like a, It had a physical release, except not really, since it was just a download code inside a box.
The best.
Nintendo published third-party game, which tried something new, letting players run a football club.
Nintendo Pocket Football Club. Okay. There's so much esoteric shit on this thing.
I'm amazed, honestly. Man, this Nintendo Life thing, they dug deep.
Yeah, right.
Of course, Rhythm Heaven Megamix. I've seen that on a bunch of lists.
Yep.
Hydro Venture Spin Cycle.
Pocket Card Jockey is only $7. Maybe I'll get that.
Speed through Splash or Crash or Kerploosh in North America. Sees the interior of wells. I don't even understand. There's weird crap on here.
Yeah.
Such insane stuff.
And I feel like some of these lists are like, let's get the weirdest thing we could find.
This one totally is.
Yeah.
But it's also, this is the list that I would be like, this is what I was wanting, because it's just a list of stuff that truly is a good chunk of this is going away and never available again.
Exactly.
Like, it's nowhere else to be found except on the 3DS eShop.
There's gonna be some story by like, I don't know, fucking not Jason Schreier probably, but somebody. It's like some obscure dev made bank in the last week of the fucking eShop being open.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Level 5. I want to see how much level 5's made.
Yeah, right.
But it is sad. I do think this is like the end of an era for this piece of hardware. And like I said in our Discord, pulling it out to purchase Crimson Shroud and everything, I'm like, man, I have a 3DS XL. Not a new or anything like that, just a 3DS XL. I really like the feel of this system a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels really good in your hand. It's very solid. It's like, oh right, this is really good. I know that between this, pretty sure I have like one or at least one, maybe two other 3DSs, because my wife has one that I think was given to her. I think it's the Zelda 25th anniversary.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, the black one. The black Zelda one. Not the gold one.
Oh,
I think the gold one's worth a lot.
Yeah.
The black one is worth less.
I've got the new. Is this new? I think it's new. I think.
Does it have the little joystick, the other second joystick?
Does. Yeah, it does.
That's the new. That's the new.
I've got the new 2DS XL, and then right before I was like, God, fuck, 2 or 3 years ago now, actually. Someone on Reddit had said that the refurbished units on the Nintendo store were closing out. So I was like, well, I should probably get a 3DS just in case I want to do anything in 3D, because this one only does 2D. So I bought a refurbished fucking red. Ugh. But
that's the one I have. I have a red 2DS XL.
3DS, new 3DS XL.
Oh, okay.
So it's got the joystick and it does, obviously 3D, so I can do some 3D on that. I've never hooked it up to the internet. I just do it, use cartridges on it. But I agree how it feels. I still don't like the slate feel, just like with the Switch. So I have mine in a little, it adds, little hand, I don't know, grips to the side. That's what I'm looking for. But it's just so small and compact, light. I took my Switch up with me to San Francisco and back, and it was great. Played a bunch of Fire Emblem, which I'll talk about later. But there's something about this, just it feels like a fucking tank. Like this thing, the clamshell closes, like this thing ain't getting hurt.
No.
I've always really liked this system, and now that the eShop is closing and I'm holding it and using it more, I'm just like, oh yeah, I should play some more games on this thing.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of life left in the specific one that I own.
Honestly, that's might be a good transition to what we have been playing.
Yes. Tell me about Crimson
Shroud.
So I'll
talk Crimson Shroud.
Yeah.
So I talked about who made it and everything, and I was like, I kind of knew going into it what it was, at least a little bit. But it's still, my perceptions of what it was from outside were not completely correct. So I thought going into it that it was a tactics game still. That I knew it was done in a diorama style of like your characters in your party of 3, and the enemies are done in like how would I say this? Fixed position figures, like the miniatures I paint. They have square bases, and they're like posed on their square bases, and they don't move. They don't animate, like their arms don't move, their heads don't move. They're digital little representations of miniature figures.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, that's cool, but then you just move them around the map like a tactics game. No, that's not no, you don't move them around. Like each room you go to is like a little diorama. Your characters are there, party is all set up, and then like enemies plop in from the sky. The little figures fall in.
That's cool.
And then it's just a turn-based combat, like that relies incredibly heavily on like buffing and debuffing, and there's comboing you can do. There's a deeper combo. I was looking actually as an aside into like the book I got at Christmas, which is the A Guide to Japanese Role-Playing Games.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
right.
Is Crimson Shroud in here? Crimson Shroud is in here.
Nice.
This thing is huge and just has everything. It's not a long game, is for one. Like it's, I think, probably between 12 to 15 hours to beat the game, maybe less. There's only 4 chapters, maybe like 3 dozen total encounters and fights. There is grinding, but this thing, as it says, Crimson Shroud sports only about a dozen fights during its 4 chapters. I guess a dozen. I've plot more because I've ground. Yet the underlying systems are deep, possibly even overkill for such a small game. Success relies heavily on buffing and status elements. There's a combo system where using the right element. When using the right elements, all character improvement is done through gear instead of level ups. You can meld, and then melding 2 pieces of the same type of equipment gives you like a better piece of that equipment. So I have like leather armor. If I have 2 leather armors, I can meld them together to level armor +1. And like I said, the characters don't level up. You level up your gear by melding it together and applying different abilities onto the gear, because your characters also don't know magic and skills. They get that from the gear they're wearing. So it's all about the gear, less about the character.
Okay.
But the characters have classes, so like your mage can only equip certain types of gear. So it's it totally is a thing. I'm like, this is totally Matsuno. Like I'm playing it 100% feels like his game and how he would do things. I'm trying to see and then the key part is, so it's this diorama, and so when you attack and everything, your character doesn't animate so much as whenever you like hit an enemy, the enemy just like figure flashes red, and like it's like if someone flicked a physical miniature, so it like teeters on its base. It just like shakes, and when they die, they just the figure just falls over. It's super like low budget in that presentation. And then it also feels a bit more like between battles as you're moving through rooms. And I'd say moving through rooms is interesting because I said like the top, each room is like a diorama, like where your guys are and where enemies will show up, and you can revisit different rooms. But on the bottom screen, when you're in this like map and moving around, it looks like a old D&D dungeon map. It has crosshatch marks, and you have rooms you can move to. You don't like move square by square. You just go like, I'm in this room, and these other 2 blue highlighted areas. Just tell me which one I go to, and like little footprints go down the hallways and stuff to go to that next room.
Interesting.
It's super unique, and that one just visually, you're like, yep, this is kind of a tabletop adventure going on. And then we get to the dice. So not everything is done with dice. Just sometimes you'll have challenges and skill checks and everything. Like you don't have to roll dice for doing your attacks. Like your attacks hit, your buffs hit. But, well, no, your buffs always hit. Sometimes your debuffs require you to roll a chunk of dice to see if you can, if you roll 13 or better success, you apply the debuff. But there's like, at time, and rolling the dice is on the bottom of the screen. DS, you take your stylus or your finger and you collect all the dice and like wiggle it around, and then just toss it as if the bottom screen is a dice tray, and they all bounce around and finish rolling, and then you get totaled up what you rolled. It's an odd combination, and I'm trying to think of the other mechanics of getting dice. No, dice are used in one other place. So I said they weren't used in attacks. They can be. So as you're doing these combos, these elemental combos, and it's explained through the tutorial how this works, you will earn dice into your this dice tray, and during an attack or thing, you can apply dice d4s to d12s to either do more damage or increase your hit chance. And so you're like, oh, I've saved up some dice. I'm gonna boost my damage. And before your attack goes off, you roll those dice to see how much extra damage you do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of a way to swing battles in certain ways. It's a weird game. Not in a bad way. I put like 3 hours into it. I'm having a fine time with it, but it is like a stripped down, just turn-based RPG. Just trying to beat these encounters.
Do you think people
the music is incredible.
Really? Tell me about that.
The music is done by the guy Hitoshi Sakamoto, who did Final Fantasy Tactics music.
Whoa.
And 12.
Okay.
It is grandiose. It's like way bigger and better than you would expect from something of this scale.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just like, yep, this is good, like grand fantasy music, and it feels really good. And the translation, English translation, is done by Alexander O. Smith, who he did the War of the Lions translation for Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay.
He's what has he done? He's done a ton of localization. He did 12's localization. He's
That's
done
not the
Phoenix
guy who's
Wright.
known by Fox or whatever, is it? That's a different person.
No, Koji Fox.
Yeah.
Michael Koji Fox is no, he was the 14.
Okay.
And he wasn't even the localization completely on 14 originally.
Mm-hmm.
He did a bunch of stuff, but no, Alexander O. Smith did like Final Fantasy VIII originally, Front Mission 3, Vagrant Story, Final Fantasy X. He was like Square's go-to localization person for a long time.
And did that person retire or move on, or?
No, his last thing, he was a writer on Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
On Ori?
Yeah, he wrote on Ori, not
cool.
localization. He did The Wonderful 101 back in the day.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
He just has his localizations aren't, how would I put this? They're not like, let me just literally translate the words.
Mm-hmm.
It's think of the context. How does it translate in? If you look at like Final Fantasy Tactics, or even 12 to a point, he doesn't, like, Tactics War of the Lions gets translated into more of a bit of like high English in some ways.
Right.
Like it's elevated. It's not trying to just be a one-to-one translation. It's like, no, okay, this is like Tactics is like kind of set in this weird War of the Roses-esque time.
Yeah.
Like that's where its inspirations are. So let's add some flair to the localization to make it kind of more feel from that time. Have a little bit of Shakespeare thrown in. Like, he's known to do that, where I feel like that helps elevate localizations to begin with. Like, and he's done a good job of that overall. So he did the translation for this, and it's a lot of reading. There's no voice acting in Crimson Shroud, so it's just a lot of reading between things. But I'm not bored by the reading, and I think it's pretty well done. Like, I'm like, okay, this lore, this world seems pretty cool. Like the three characters, they have some, like, it's written with, they have banter against each other between fights. Supposedly there's twists and stuff built into the story as well as I go, so I'm curious what that's going to be. So.
And you said 12 to 15 hours?
Yeah, I think so. In the end, that's what I'm seeing online.
Pretty meaty.
Yeah, for something this small. Most of the complaints I've read online say, again, it gets a little repetitive, and that battles can get pretty hard and take a while to get through. And I can see that. Like, it's not just spam attack all the time. You have to be pretty considerate with what you're doing. Right. So I do recommend it, though, and especially if it's going away. Like,
yeah, it just feels like, from a preservationist standpoint, at least, like wanting to have access to that.
Yeah. And I know there's like a weird gray area with ROMs and emulation, but I know a lot of this is going to be available through these ROMs exist already.
Well, yeah, and people have hacked their 3DSs and get shit on
Yeah,
SD
these
cards or
exist.
whatever.
I know that they do, and really in some of this, I'm like, yeah, maybe. Like when this stuff goes away, at least that's still there to preserve it.
Right.
Because man, like this is gonna go away.
It is just such a unique piece of hardware that even if you did the emulation, you would have to do it on to get the full experience. I would think to have a hacked 3DS or even the what's that fucking thing? Pocket? Oh god, the thing that people are using to play. Oh, it's just Game Boy. It's like Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color.
Oh yeah, the analog pocket.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. It doesn't have the dual screen. It doesn't have the touch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been playing Crimson Shroud since I got that just to see it. I'm very happy with it for myself. Like I said, this designer, just the way he designs his systems and stuff, it's just I eat it up.
Yeah.
I just know that that's what it is. And then the other thing I played a crap ton of Octopath Traveller.
Oh, nice.
What have I done? I've finished all main stories for all 8 characters, and I've finished all the cross paths. Mm-hmm. So there's 4 crossed paths, 2 chapters for each one. Finished all those. So I'm actually at the point of the game where it's like, okay, you do the next thing, which is the final thing that ties everything together. I will say they did a much better job as I was approaching chapters 3 and 4 of a lot of the characters of foreshadowing what the final thing was going to be, and that their stories are involved with the final boss or whatever it's going to be, the final dungeons.
So it ties together a lot better than the last game?
It felt that way.
That's
to me.
Cool.
Like they foreshadowed it enough where it felt like, okay, not that okay, there's something bigger going on. And that's why these characters are kind of drawn together to be together as a party. And then not all the stories, but maybe half of the stories have direct connection to the post-game or the in-game piece of the content.
Yeah.
So it feels good that way. I'm like, yeah, the writing is far better than the first game. It's more considered than the first game in that regard. Playing it now, I'm just like, yeah, this is absolutely just better in every way than the first game.
That's really awesome to hear.
Not a step back in any way.
That's great.
It's just not going to convert people if they didn't like the first game. Like if you just didn't like the style of game,
yeah,
this isn't. They're not changing that. They're like, no, this is what an Octopath Traveler game is, but we can make that better.
Yeah, it's fixed the story.
Yeah, let's fix the things that people were having issues with. I think the balance is better. The grinding feels better. It's not as intense. It feels better for exploring. How you get secondary jobs feels better. The mixing and matching of jobs overall feels better. It's just small, and it's like it's just a more polished version of the first game. Like better writing, more interesting characters, the HD 2D stuff. It's funny to say that it looks better than the first game, but it does. They just know what they can do a lot better, so they do a lot more with camera work while doing HD 2D, so there's more dynamic cutscene type stuff going on, and how the camera spins around at certain times. There's a lot more foreground elements that like get blurred out and you kind of go in and out of at times, so that it's just like, oh yeah, they just make a better, more interesting scene, I would say. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, people. I've been listening to a bunch of RPG podcasts lately, and people just keep singing the praises of that game and the game that I'm playing. And I hope one day to check out Octopath Traveller 2 because the story seems much better than the last one. And I'm really I need to, after this game, I think I'm probably gonna go back and finish Live Alive. If I can get through the one that I'm playing through, the one story that I'm playing through that's just like dragging ass, which everyone says drags ass. The rest are great. I'm sort of interested in that separate stories that come together idea.
Yeah, it kind of feels like this is the thing. I think they did a better job for sure.
That's cool. Anything else you
I
want to
mean,
play?
that's it. Those two games. That's
Right.
been my thing.
I played a little bit of Arceus, or I guess it's Arceus, Pokemon Arceus, on the plane ride up, and just went and mopped up some stuff that my daughter just kind of blitzed through to get to the next thing, or whatever her flight of fancy took her to. So ended up filling up my Pokedex a little more, got to the next level, opened up the next map, which is where like all the Pokemon that she really knows are at. So I was taking like videos and pictures and showed it to her over FaceTime when I talked to her. So that was kind of fun. But for the most part, I played Fire Emblem Engage, and I am in the middle of chapter 21, and I think there are 23 chapters,
Okay.
if I remember correctly.
Oh, right. I'm trying to think here.
So
Yeah, what you're at.
I'm in the fight with Vale right now. I did
Right.
the one where it's basically like there will be several battles in a row. So I think I'm at the end game. As I got my
Let's see.
rings back, a couple new paralogs opened up, and I did not do them. I've done most of them, and I've done a lot of the divine paralogs, but I have like an abundance of rings and an abundance of bracelets. I don't need more right now. Like my team is strong enough, it seems like. But in this battle where I finally got to Vale with the divine dragon, Vale she does like I don't know, like a 5-hit combo, and my guy died, but I had
Yep.
the what the fuck's it called from Tiki, um, what the fuck is it? The Resurrection Stone. Is Tiki DLC or is Tiki in the game?
No, it's DLC.
Well, fuck. Okay, well that makes it a little easier for me. When you get Tiki and you engage, she gives I forget what it's called, but it's basically a resurrection stone. You know how the enemies, the bosses, sometimes have like 2 or 3 stones where they come back
Oh,
to
yeah.
life.
Yeah.
So I have one of those. So she wiped the fucking floor with me the first
But
time
then you're
she
like,
touched me,
never mind.
and I came back to life with that one stone I had, and I just went all the way back behind all my troops. Like, okay, let me
Sure.
reapproach this, but then the plane landed, so I haven't gone forward with that. But
Sure.
I got to the story point though where I think you were just like, what the fuck? I don't care about Marnie. I guess spoilers here. So Fire Emblem Engage spoilers. 3, 2, 1. They kill Marnie.
Which
which
one was Marnie?
She's one of the 4 hounds, the blonde girl, the kind of annoying one.
Oh no, we're not done. That was part one of me not caring.
Oh God, there's something worse than that because that was pretty dumb.
Oh yeah.
That was
Oh yeah.
real. Like
The end of this game did no favors for it in like story wise of being like, I mean, you're saying it's serviceable, and I was like, it's serviceable to a point until I got to the end and being like, no, like, you want me to care about characters I just don't care about.
so
Like,
I had said that to you on Discord. Like, so what I said to him was like, I don't hate the story as much as everyone else does. Like, I think it's okay. It's serviceable. And then I got to this Marnie thing, and I was like, I maybe would scale that back a little bit because this is a character that's annoying the whole time she's in it. She's not someone I care about that much. Her turn to like be good at the end wasn't even really that believable or interesting. And then whatever fucking the lady in the bikini, I forget her name. Goddamn.
exactly.
What
You
the
care about these characters so much, don't you?
Oh, what the fuck is her name? Well, I don't hang out with that character. She's like the antagonist. So I don't fucking remember her name.
Zafia?
Yeah, that's it.
It has the like corn crown thing
Yes,
going on.
exactly.
Yeah.
Kills Marnie, and I'm like, okay. I kind of like
Yeah.
the rest of the
How much
characters.
do you
but
like? How much do you care about Zafia? How
Well,
much?
I don't because I'm not with that
How
character.
much do you care about Gris?
And I don't because I'm not with that character.
Enjoy that.
I don't. That's kind. I guess that's what I'm talking about. Like with Marnie too. Like I don't know her. You killed her. I don't really care. And
And we're just gonna keep it going
that-
for a long time.
who cares? You're killing the antagonists. Okay. I guess I kind of like Marnier or whatever his name is, or what the fuck's his name? The guy who just joins you is like, fuck these people. Like I like Merle
Sure.
or whatever Vale. I'm gonna stick with you.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of like that, but like killing her, I'm like, what the fuck? And I thought that was the part of the story that you were like, this is dumb, but
No,
apparently
that
it
was
gets
the
worse.
start. That was the start.
Great.
It doesn't get better.
I think my feelings about the story are about to take a nosedive. Although I will still say I do like the support conversations and those like
I like some of the support conversations.
I haven't done.
Some of them are just.
I like, like Jade, for example, like this like gruff female knight tank, and then she's just like she's a novelist. Like I like that. That's pretty cool.
No, there's, and I will say the character like those ones are, I find less fault with because of all the Fire Emblem I've played. There's always hit or misses on those.
Yeah.
Some will resonate with you, some won't. But they're like 3 houses. There were plenty of characters that I was like, I really love these supports. Like, and some I was like, I don't care about this character.
Yeah.
Like, they're just annoying. Whatever.
Yep.
Like, but there are so many characters that's expected. Like, they have characters for everybody and every kind of type
they're
of character.
Still giving me new characters, man. I
Yes,
think I'm in the end game, and I'm still getting new ones.
There's 26 chapters.
Oh, 26?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not. Okay, I'm not as far along as I thought. Then I'm in 21.
I mean, you're close, and what I will say is this the one? Defeat the boss. Yeah. Chapter 26. Like getting to 26. Way more difficult than chapter 26. 26 was like, what is this? Like, why did I just... Not anyone even came close to dying. Like, and I don't feel like I was doing anything special. Just like...
Well, yeah, because right now, like, I have never, ever... My main character has never died. He just died. I was like, oh, what the fuck? I guess I got to rethink my strategy here.
Yeah, I will say that, like, for whatever reasons, I kind of felt like 22 through... I don't even know if 20... It's 25 or is it 20? It's weird. The final chapters are a little bit. Yeah, 20. Yeah, I will say like 24, 25, 23. Those all had some challenge to them. I'll say that.
Okay.
And then it just drops for the final one. They're like, I guess you've made it through all that. It's cool. We'll just.
Yep, you got through the
We'll just give you
now.
a freebie here for the final boss.
Yeah.
Okay. You've been talking this thing up as being super powerful. No? Okay. I just do the thing.
Oh my god, the fucking fell dragon is just like nothing, like a pushover.
It didn't feel like it.
Wow.
That was mission. That final chapter mission with the fell dragon was trivial.
Interesting.
Like,
okay,
it was really strange how trivial it was for me. So.
Okay.
The story that these last chapters just get to a point where you're just like, to make me care about this, you would have needed to emotionally invest me in what's going on here, and I have zero emotional investment in what's actually happening now.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
The most emotional investment I had was when the between chapters 10 and 11 in the game, when they took your rings away.
Right.
That's it. That's the high point of my emotional investment.
And that's still so
kind
weird.
Of just
like,
stayed there for a little bit, and then it just kind of dropped off a bit, and then you hit where you're at, and it just completely bottomed out. I don't know. I just don't know.
I've really enjoyed it. The story has been okay. The characters have been good, but I only play with like half the characters or even less, because they're all too low. I finally got a couple people. I'm trying to cycle in a few more. I just cycled in the Wolf Marin or whatever, the Wolf.
Oh, yeah.
I've never used her, and I cycled her in for like this late battle, and she did great. And I was like, fuck.
She's cool.
She's awesome. I should have been using her more. I don't know. I just really enjoy it. It's my favorite Fire Emblem since Awakening. And it makes me want to go back and give Three Houses a little bit more of a look, because there's a lot of stuff with the Somniel that you can do, and I just do a couple things each time and then move on, and I think I could do better at the Cathedral or the fucking whatever, Three Houses where I could just
I got so tired of Somnial. I will be honest.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of things to do, and most of them are not that interesting. And I think with Three Houses, I tried to do everything and then got burned out and didn't get back to the battles and
Sure.
moved on. So I think if I did less of that, maybe I'd enjoy it more.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I would feel like there was more connection with the stuff that you were doing in Three Houses to actually improving your characters. I would just say on the side thing, because Somnial has like the workout stuff. It has the like
the pool,
the pool, and the shooter thing. That I'm like, what is this? The workout I did like a couple times, and I was like, no, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this before every mission. My hand hurts too much from doing this thing.
I did the Wyvern race, today.
Yeah,
and I was like, I did it once, I'm good.
Yeah, I was like, what did it give? It didn't. I'm like, is this for anything? I fished a couple times just to see what it was like. I fished a ton in Three Houses, but again, these side activities in Three Houses felt they were more connected back to the like, this is improving my team overall. And some of these I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I care.
Right. Well, and like you get the the fish, or you pick up stuff from like your animals or whatever, and it's like you can use them as extra items when you cook. It's like, okay.
Yeah. When I got done towards probably even halfway through Engage, I just was like, all right, Insomnial, I go in, I do my 3 arena battles.
Yep.
So I do those, and then I do any emblem battles that I need to do to like get bond points up or whatever they're called.
Yep.
And that's basically where I started. I was like, I guess I'll go to the farmyard. If you put dogs there, dogs always drop metal for whatever reason.
Well, that's fucking weird.
Like silver and all that stuff. And then I would just collect all that, because then I just go upgrade my weapons. And that was it.
Interesting.
I didn't actually see a purpose of like, I get it for the cooking thing, but the cooking is not actually that great.
It's not. It doesn't. It helps raise slightly some of those relationships that if I feel like I'm close on one, I want to do that. But sure. I do the same thing you do.
Yeah, I just was like, wow, okay. So you've I don't know, just the activities that were there. I'm like, I don't even know why these are here. Like, but yeah. I beat it though. I got through the whole thing. I'm like, I'm not gonna play this game again though. I just don't have the drive.
Yeah.
To play through this one again.
And that feels like a shame to me, because I feel the same way. Like I'm enjoying it. I don't think there's much to go back to except for the fuckload of characters I didn't play with. Like maybe they would play differently and it'd be interesting, but I don't know.
I just don't want to do it again.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if that's the case. I still, for now, feel like this is my favorite Fire Emblem since Awakening. I wonder if I'll feel that way by the end. But the whole brother sister thing, like, yeah, no shit. I thought it was going to be the opposite though, where like she was the daughter of the queen who died, but no, you're the son of the fell dragon. Okay, well we're both got it. Okay, fine.
Yeah, they telegraph their things pretty far out.
Yeah. Well, then,
they're not subtle in their foreshadowing of what's going to be happening.
Dude, they're so fucking terrible. Like, oh, remember that I told you that we needed to do this because of that? Well, I'm telling you again. Like, you guys, I know. Fucking stop. Yeah. I'm not that dumb. Come on. So yeah.
So.
Anyway, I'm enjoying it.
I don't hate the game or anything. Yeah. I beat it. I had a fine time with it, and to your point, I think the tactics of it are particularly good. I enjoy it quite a bit.
The variety of maps, I think, are pretty interesting.
The map variety is the key part to me. Mm-hmm. The actual units themselves are fine. It's just the actual scenario design and mission design is where it stood out to me more than anything. As the highlight, I'm like, the way that units work and their abilities and stuff. There's not like a whole bunch of new stuff there. It's pretty standard Fire Emblem. What abilities you have, like you eventually get your dancer. The dancer does the dancer things. Yeah. Like they're not going crazy there. I guess the emblem stuff is more interesting, that you can do big attacks and stuff, but that's kind of the highlight. Not that you can inherit skills, because no, don't do that.
Well, dude, I went through. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have this person and that person. Now that I got Sigurd back, you're gonna fucking go with this guy so that you can get Cantor. And then I was like, fuck, I don't have the SP to inherit Cantor. Great, I just wasted my fucking bond, whatever, to make you fight him. Ugh. Oh well.
Yep. But it does make me curious what the next Fire Emblem's going to be in the end, because I kind of feel like this is just not a stopgap, but it feels lower budget than Three Houses was.
I was gonna use the word stopgap, because if however long it took to do Three Houses, I feel like that was a long development cycle for that one. That was a lot. Let's go back to the shorter development cycle while we spin up the longer one for the next one.
Figure out what we're doing on
exactly.
Our next, which I'm curious what they end up doing, but
marry the story of Three Houses with the gameplay of this, man.
Yeah.
Because this, as the story drags towards the end, it makes me reconsider how I feel about it. It reminds me of the political intrigue of Three Houses was pretty interesting, and this
was
not.
I mean, that was the other thing. Three Houses had interesting and had a lot of politics and intrigue there. Wasn't another thing that got me in this is the fact that the character you're playing in Engage, everyone likes you. You're already the best thing to ever exist.
Yeah. Oh man, everyone worships you.
Which is not Three Houses, the character you play in Three Houses. You have to prove yourself. Not everyone's just on board of being yeah, you're the divine savior. It's no one actually has a clue who the fuck you are and what you're doing and why you're special.
Yeah.
Prove it. Which made for a little bit more, I would say, interesting story for the main character. Because everyone's Divine Dragon, we love you. Here, have these rings. Okay. Except for the people for the Fell Dragon. Basically.
Well, even then, it's just
oh, but they all turn to your side anyway, so.
Well, either that or we stole the rings and we're gonna beat you. Or no, you beat me. And then that Grease guy is fucking masochist, comically masochist.
Yep. They're really over the top. I will give them that.
And it's I did this so that I could tell if you were really the son of the Fell Dragon. What? Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to see. We don't have sales numbers on Engage yet. Actual bigger numbers. There's just it was on UK charts and stuff, but it's not enough I can see how it did in comparison to other Fire Emblem games.
Yeah.
Three Houses is the current high point. Three Houses sold almost 4 million copies.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to do the same. Which, whatever their success metrics are, I don't know. But
yeah, I was just trying to see what, it's just interesting looking at the how the sales increased drastically. It was pretty low up until Awakening.
Yeah.
Awakening was the one that sold 2.35 million. Where the previous high point was 0.77 million on the SNES. So they hadn't even broken 1 million sales.
Oh wow, interesting.
Previous to Awakening.
Yeah.
And Fates was 3 million, and then Fire Emblem Three Houses was 3.82 million copies. I want to say this. I could see this landing somewhere around 3 in the end.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll know probably when they do financials here.
There are certainly people who really like it. Some of the podcasts I was listening to over the weekend or on the plane, and then at night, people were really enjoying it as a harkening back to Awakening. Still pointing out some of the flaws, but so I've been enjoying it. I'm looking forward to. Oh, you know what? Fuck. I picked up Metroid Fusion and played
Oh,
like an
cool.
hour of it. And I was like, oh my god, this is great.
Shroud Fusion is cool.
Oh my god, and it's pretty short. It's like a 9-hour game, or no,
Yeah.
6-hour game even.
It's not long.
It's
at
very
all.
short, but it feels more not linear is the wrong word, but it feels more straightforward than some other
Oh, it totally
Metroid
is. It's
games.
a bit more story focused as well.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
the first 2D Metroid that really kind of leaned into the story a little bit more.
Yeah, Samus is using I. She's talking about herself, yada yada. She references other
Yeah,
M,
she
it
talks
seems like.
about.
Or maybe not. Other M is later. Yeah,
It
other M
is
was
later.
Later, yeah. Cause never mind. She referenced Adam or something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
Adam, her commanding officer,
Yeah.
which shows up in Other M.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it just has a um, little bit more story than previous ones.
Yeah, it makes her feel less alone, like a
Yeah.
solo bounty hunter, like she's part of the apparatus, and it's colorful. But then, like, at the point where I had to go to an elevator and go down, so my Samus goes down, and then a different Samus busts through the wall, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, what the fuck just happened?" I'm like, I better put this down. I'm gonna finish Fire Emblem, and then probably come back to this.
Yeah.
I'm really high on the Switch right now. Like, I'm just enjoying the fuck out of playing Switch games.
Yeah.
So,
There's a lot of good stuff.
well,
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, this has been episode 377 of Prof and Dev Play Games. If you have a 3DS or a Wii U, you've got until, I think, the 27th?
27th.
Yeah, 27th, next Monday, to buy your games. So please get on it.
Yeah.
And I will do the same and report back what I've picked up. Okay, folks, thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Later, everyone.